starting time, playing out of Bradenton, Florida, 15-time LPGA Tour winner and 2-time major champion, Nelly Korda.
All right, so here's the crazy thing about Nelly after that 68 yesterday. 1 over par, she's 8 back of Yan Lu's lead, which is an outright solo lead at the 36-hole mark. 8 shots the way that she played yesterday is not insurmountable. She has gone from an afterthought in this tournament to potentially being able to defend with a good round today.
Especially this club's going to be really important for her. She's been a little on the back foot. It's usually a strength of hers.
Yeah, good one. Next on the tee from Beaverton, Oregon, 2024 LPGA Tour rookie, Gigi Stoll.
A few times on this yesterday. You know, you think about the 12th. There was a few times in her second round where she went in the one spot you couldn't go. And I think that's been a touch of a theme for her. I think she's been missing in the wrong spots and putting a lot of pressure on her putting because, you know, every time you face a 10 to 15 footer for par, you know, it feels so deadly. It feels like she's not putting well. At least there were no 3 putts yesterday, but putting herself in better spots to score today, take part of the pressure off that part of her game is going to be key.
There you see the brain trust inside the ropes with Nelly and Jason McDeed. You and I were talking about it yesterday. I put it on social this morning. The beauty of being able to watch featured groups is we get all of this, right? We get the interaction on every single hole. His positive reinforcement early in the round yesterday, even when she was missing putts. Hey, good putt. Hey, a little bit of fire here early, Angela.
Yeah, I think we didn't have any rain overnight last night. I think they're going to be a touch firmer today. This is Nelly with a 7-iron.
She'll be thinking about 5 paces short after watching those bounces. Yeah, and even then it wouldn't be enough. But the problem is, dead on line with that flag, you just don't have a lot of depth before the hole location on that left side today.
So Nelly on her way to the green, and even a little bit of a look over to Jason, like, what, did you see that bounce? Yeah, we all saw that bounce. It's going to be
Henderson in a 64.
The question is there a 66 out there today? We're going to learn a lot about this golf course over the next hour. Nelly Korda now for birdie at 10 after her ball skipped to the back of this green, and you see all of that slope and all of that speed, and she's going to have some work left just for her par coming up here. Second of our crew out there on the golf course walking with our second group, we say good morning to Emma Talley. Or to it, you get out there and we'll be providing so much great information for us as you have all week long. As Allie, I think there's one thing that's working against some of these players. It's you don't get that 8 a.m. start if you were one of the last in, you know, some 6 hours in front of the leaders. Everybody's going to be playing the golf course at about the same time.
The inverted U-shape draw, we needed it, given how many made the cut. So this for a solid start.
And made the putter switch, was just so emotionally distraught after the 77 on Thursday, went right to the range and the putting green this year, and has not missed a cut this season. She continues to just get better and better each season. Nelly's turn now at 11.
It was an 8-iron for Nelly.
Good one, too.
We saw her early yesterday in that round. I thought about the shot at 12, her third shot, or third hole.
After watching Amy moose it right through it all, just a little tentative. Great shot to hear from Nelly, though.
And I have to say, you know, I was saying this course it's going to be interesting to see, but if anybody can take advantage of tucked hole locations, it's Nelly. She has the length off the tee to get in position to hit some shorter clubs into these firmer greens this morning. So look for Nelly to make a move. You know, she looks so relaxed this morning. You know, you play around like you do yesterday, and all of a sudden it feels like all the weight comes off your shoulders of the week, and boy, buckle up for Nelly today.
Pulled it. Oh, but the hole caught it. Everything coming up Nelly the last 15 holes or so of her week. This one was just trying to dive to the left, and that kind of broke up the hill to get into the side door. All right, coming off birdie at 11. Nelly on the tee, 162 today over that bunker here at 12.
It's an 8-iron again for Nelly this morning.
And that's probably going to be a popular spot today at 12. Just got it on the wrong side of the ridge, but as firm as these greens are, I mean, maybe a little bit long and right isn't much of a problem, Allie, here at this par 3, but that hole from the tee looks like it is standing on top of the bunker.
If you're long,
things are, I mean, they feel like with our eyes almost a foot faster than what we saw yesterday.
These things as they bake out could get a little glassy. So we see the return for Nelly Korda.
Well, as you know, when the ball goes past the hole like this, the good news is you saw the line. So she knows there's some right to left. And you're straightening out at the hole. A little uphill.
That make is probably just as big for Nelly, I think, with the way that she's looking at her putting this week, the way she's feeling about it, than a birdie putt would be, like the one on the previous.
65 was the low round on Thursday, 2 players. 66 the low round of the day yesterday by 1 player. As we look forward to the next 75 years after what the 13 founders established back in 1950. All right, Nelly advancing this one pretty far down here, Angela.
She did. She hit the second shot really well. She's got 32 yards here.
Do it. Could not draw up a better start from Nelly Korda. A perfectly dialed second shot at 11. The good feels at 12 to save par, and now her short game on display. She's about to go 2 under in this round. And for the first time this week, Nelly Korda is going to be under par in this championship.
She is one of the few in the field that could maybe make this golf course look simple today.
It was the first time in this championship's history where we did not see any improvement on the first round lead score to the second round lead score. As we take another look at Nelly's chip here that almost went in for an eagle. And the way that this golf course sort of feels like it's going to be a challenging Saturday. Again, Nelly shoots another 68 today. Look, there are a lot of bodies between her and the top of the leaderboard. Anybody can go out and play a really good round of golf today, but it just sort of feels like, you know, 68 and you can move yourself into a decade or so. But tell you what, the multiple champions of this event as a major is a who's who of women's golf.
I think the last player to go back-to-back was maybe Annika, early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. As we see Nelly pull driver here at 14. Fairway bunker down there on the right-hand side. Just want to scoot it by that. It's headed that way.
A solid trivia, you were right. 2001, 2000. To look at that Nelly swing.
When she's driving the ball well, just watch. If you could kind of put a circle around the head. I always think it's almost like a kestrel. You know, there's a lot going along with the wings, but the head doesn't move. A little bit of a dip. Sometimes she goes forward. Whenever she goes forward, it's always pretty much a push fade. You see it a touch more so from front on. Beautiful balance. So much power. Love the way her lower half goes through the ball as well. If you had either half of the puzzle, it'd be a good swing, let alone putting them both together. Granted, that one a little down the right. She sees someone in the crowd.
And having fun, which she was admitted she was getting tearful on Thursday, the way that she started this tournament. Anything but now as she's playing her way into position here on a Saturday. Moving day at the Chevron. And now Nelly finding the bunker off the tee here at 14.
Strike wasn't there. Just going to have to lean on the third.
back to 1 over for the day and 2 over in total, as Nelly Korda is trying to avoid her own bogey here at 14.
Yeah, fairway bunker kind of got Nelly there. She's got 40 yards here.
Knew she maybe got a little bit too much, but clipped it nicely, and that's going to be kind of like that putt at 12. A momentum keeper for, speaking of Nelly, for another par save.
If Nelly's making par putts, she's making them from that 4 to 8 foot range.
As Nelly still with the honor. Took a little while to clear the fairway here at 15. Anything but left at this par 4.
A drive that'll suit her eye. A little butter draw.
What a sport. Be completely out of a tournament and then now.
It is in the front of a divot, sandy divot. Like you said, Will, the back of the ball was clear, so that was a pitching wedge.
She wasn't going to make a mistake, though. Short and to the right. All right, everybody's clamoring for the answer to the trivia question. It's been a while, Allie. The 3-time winners of this championship, as Nelly tries to become the 8th to win it multiple times. And we will stay right here for Nelly Korda's long effort in this. It hasn't been a stress-free start for Nelly Korda, but it has been exactly the start that you would want, with 2 birdies, no bogeys on the card, and certainly not a putt here that you would expect her to get greedy with.
You're right. This putt's going to go about 3 different ways. A little right in the beginning, straightening out, may try to go right again at the end. So just a nice lag putt here. Take your par on a tough hole and move on.
Putts like these, I always thought about the pace the last 2 feet. Try and just roll it over that front edge. Can she? It really was.
A stellar lag there. So less effort for the par at 15 than the one at 14. 16 up ahead. A lengthy par 4. But continuing this script, you have to go all the way back to her 3rd hole of the day yesterday, the par 3 12th, the last time she dropped a shot. So you think about where she's gone now. 8 amorous eyes, weren't they? Loved everything about that shot. Looking at it up and down, is now back over to 16. Nelly Korda still clean for the day.
Sounded like less than driver, which means that Nelly's trying to lay it up just slightly short of the bunker down the right.
Nelly wants to take on.
Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. Her distance puts her in a perfect spot in this fairway. Less club into this hole. She got to get it 15 over that carry. It's all a downslope, so maybe wanting to carry it all the way to the hole.
She carried it to the hole, almost carried it into the hole. And Nelly's gone from happy to be there to that stone cold killer look now in the eyes. She's feeling it out here on the golf course, Allie.
She is dialed in. Nearly threw it in there. And that was crisply struck. When she hit the tee shot, and it sounded like fairway metal, I was like, huh, kind of.
Gigi looks like she'd be a really fun member guest partner. Out there hitting shots, playing fast. Maybe something with a slice of fruit in it, in the cup, in the cup holder, in the cart.
I reckon she's top 10 in fun.
Yeah.
The LPGA Tour. And you know what? I think Her goal is just to make sure everyone knows that individuality has a place in golf, something she's really passionate about, as we turn our eyes now to Nelly Korda.
Just needs to be more aware of the grain in this putt. I think the grain's going to affect it more than the break.
She figured it out, didn't she? Third birdie in the first 7 holes for Nelly Korda. She is 9 under par since her 8th hole yesterday in the second round. And Nelly Korda is 5 off the lead, heading to the hole where it all started. The turnaround yesterday started in position for a potential birdie. Nelly Korda's coming off birdie on the tee here at 17.
That was an 8-iron for Nelly.
Oh, felt like it was left. It is left. It's in the bunker. You see, I heard the lie is not good here for Nelly.
Fried egg, just buried in the lip. The only good news is it's on the upslope.
I always like to use kind of, I'm not going to say the hosel, but kind of the angle around it on those shots a little bit more than squaring up the club face. You can do it either way. Depends how soft the sand is. Really just chop it in, let the ball pop out. Sometimes it almost has topspin, but it will go straight up.
Not a bad position off the tee at 16 and still walk away with the bogey. Now Nelly, another one of these in that kind of 8 to 10 foot range for par.
She needs to be careful here. I mean, this is a situation where she's had a great round. She had a tough break in the bunker. This putt could get away from her, so I think lagging here wouldn't be a mistake.
But she'll feel bulletproof if it drops.
Never had the
That was a
read.
tough putt.
Yeah. So the hole that began the rally yesterday for her is the first bogey that she has made in some 20+ holes. Bogey 4 today, back to 1 under for Nelly.
Some of that was out of her control. Obviously, she hit it there, but the light.
Far better that far right than that far left on this par 3.
True.
Is Nelly on the tee at 18? It's Nelly's turn to bounce back.
54-degree wedge from 95 yards.
She could do it. I think that hole's gettable.
Are you not entertained?
The only thing that could slow her down was a buried lie in a bunker. She gets right back with a birdie at 18. Nelly Korda's going to turn with 33 on the back, smiling from ear to ear. What a difference in emotion some 2 days later here at 18. And she's 2 under making the turn.
Birdie number 4 of the round is loading and is inevitable for Nelly Korda.
Talking like, how close is that? How close was it from going in? Because you see that downslope where they're hitting, really don't have an idea of how close those balls are, and now they all walk up and realize, ooh, those came pretty darn close to going in, didn't they?
Nelly's thinking, I win. NTP.
The 33 official, 2 under, 5 back with the leader now on the golf course. And Nelly will go chaser, down 1. Again, starting early on the back 9, finishing on the front with the leaders sort of right in front. There's for a weekend grouping. And now Nelly turns with driver here at 1.
To thread it. She's done it too. I think there's a real opportunity, and you know, Gigi's scorecard doesn't look like Nelly's right now, but you see how much fun.
A little bit of ground on the leaderboard. The 33 for Nelly Korda. She has gained 21 spots in position on the leaderboard. If she were to play this 9 at 3 under par, she'd gain another 20.
Just thinking 10 feet left of it. Maybe started at it, draw it off.
I think started right at it. Now turning over. Did it turn over enough? Didn't get up. Now, you're not going to make the mistake long here at 1 for sure, but maybe not the contact that she was looking for as Nelly. It's been an electric Saturday thus far, thanks to world #1 Nelly Korda. 3 under par in a round, 2 under, making the turn at 1, trying to chip in for birdie.
It's not a terrible leave. Just looking right at it.
And that's what I'm talking about. Do the simple things well. That up and down is a sitting duck, but you still have to execute.
And again, she made her own luck at 17, missing that green left. But a buried lie in the bunker, a bit of an unfortunate break, and that's the only thing that's really nipped her. She's had to make a couple of par savers today. She's made 2 par saves in about the 8 to 10 foot range. But and just the formality here, the cleanup from Nelly Korda.
To be fair, I'm still scared to play with Kari Webb, who's an idol of mine. She's a friend to all of ours now.
A 2-time champion of this championship, Kari Webb. Just part of the fabric. In terms of dangerous tee shots on this inward 9, I wouldn't classify this one near the top of that list. 5, 9, sir.
Nelly has 156.
That's exactly what Andrew.
Hydrophobic tree-wise.
All right, Nelly, not a lot of green to work with here. Ball didn't skip as far down there as it initially looked. Looked like it took a pretty good hop when it missed the green left, but was far more manageable than I think we thought from the initial angle of it. So, mentioned there has been a lot of bogeys here today, but just hard to really get it close for birdies. And again, there's just no fear with her hands around the greens and these tight lies. We've seen that the last couple of holes.
The trickiest thing about that was judging the bounce and the grain, because it has a tendency to really dig in once it hits the turf. Beautifully done. She's got such a neutral short game, you know, everything kind of square, it bottoms out right.
Okay for you.
Struggled with straight.
Yeah,
I was a really non-linear player. So we go back to Nelly for the tidy up. The big thing today, and what Angela's speaking to, is the fact that Nelly's strokes gained around the greens. It's the only spot in her game where she doesn't gain stroke.
Her caddy mentioned it's probably going to be a little late. I'm wondering if they have talked about it. It might be more of a full 8.
Looked more full to me.
Oh no, not full enough.
There is nothing to save it over there.
It was an aggressive line off the tee. from Nelly Korda. Staring it down, thought it might be a little bit too far left. Wow.
He's going to be putting the bag down quicker than he'd like, Jason McDeed.
Well, I think the thing we did not take into account, we were talking about all the waiting. You know, she's in great rhythm making the turn, and now all of a sudden you just kind of hit a roadblock, and it does bother your rhythm.
It's like sitting down halfway through a 100-meter sprint. Just knocks you about.
Well, and
even more of an emotional and mental rhythm than anything else.
And to that, ladies, but when that rhythm is knocked off like that, should it have changed the conservative nature of the shot at that point in time? I mean,
to be fair, I think that was more an execution error. Angela, you had a better view at it than me. She was never planning on going left of that flag.
I don't know. If you listen to Nelly and, reading some of her transcripts, she's an aggressive player, and she plays best when she's aggressive. I think the wind, when she decided to hit that full, in my opinion, it got up higher than she meant for it to get.
Maybe a little slapped around in the air as well. Third on the way. Can she salvage bogey?
Gonna need that for a 4, but the wind now quickly out of the sails of Nelly Korda, trying to minimize the damage here in the third.
Korda now. It's going to be 2 shots gone from one bad swing. We talked about how you can get punished quickly by this golf course, even if you're world number 1. Fairway found for Gigi Stoll. How can Nelly bounce back? Started right. Is it staying there? In the meantime, Nelly Korda. Set of trees down that right-hand side. Over there. Whoop. Off the ankle, off the tree. I hope he's okay. Good footwork. I'm not sure it was quite in time. Just up in there for Nelly Korda.
She had 68 yards in the rough and got it up really high, really fast. Caught the tree front straight down. Now.
So this is 4?
Yes, this is 4, and probably about 60 yards now. It didn't go very far, and
my goodness. I mean, everything is going not just swimmingly, but better than expected over the last day plus, and then kind of had that weight on the tee at 3, and when it went bad, it went really bad for Nelly, who is now looking to follow up the double after the water ball at 3 with maybe another big number here at 4.
I can't remember which out of Jekyll or Hyde was the good one. This is the other Nelly. This is the one from the...
It does something to you, and Jason's good about keeping her in it, but it's just hard when you're a fast player and all of a sudden you are really slow. It's really hard.
Nice one there. It all comes back, doesn't it, Will, to how many people made the cut. That log jam. Think about it, there's only 132 players in the field, but we had over 80 teeing it up kind of in the morning wave, if you will.
And more than half the field making the cut. You don't typically see that in a major championship. Obviously, this field not as large as a couple of the other. Conversation about Nelly Korda and this sort of wall that's been hit is that you know, whatever did to the rhythm, it's the reality right now. And how does she need to adjust to this reality is we're seeing kind of the struggle that we saw from Thursday creep back into a game that was flawless for the last 27 holes.
Yeah, and I think she needs to get this putt in the hole, and I think they have a nice long walk to 5T, and I think Jay's just going to tell her, look, let's just finish strong and let's get to tomorrow.
She made 4 bogeys in a row on this front 9 on Thursday and thought that she may have played her way out of this tournament. The 4 over par stretch comes in a much more condensed window here on Saturday. Doubles at 3 and 4. And that image says it all. I don't want to get it too extreme in the comment, but those 2 holes, that may be the end of a march towards a title defense for Nelly Korda. She needed to get in with a good number and
take advantage of much when she was in position today, Steph Kyriakou.
Nelly has the length to cover, needs to turn this round around after those back-to-back double bogeys. She'll have using the bunker the last couple days to escape, but today don't want to be down there in the sand. Is Nelly Korda just looking for anything positive?
Wedge in her hand here, 134.
We talked about the switch being flipped yesterday. Remember that birdie at 17? It's like a light switch went on and we had the aha here.
9 sandwiching a bogey at the second. Further on for those players starting from the 10th. This is Nelly Korda for a birdie at the 5th. Nelly had it going well today, Morgan. Got it to 2 under for the championship, so within, what, 4 shots of the lead at the time, and has just gone double bogey, double bogey.
She fought her way back hard yesterday from being 7 over for the championship at one point just to make the cut. Was trying to get herself back in contention, and those 2 doubles really just a blow to the system.
He talks about the left miss. There's water all down the left on the par 5 4th. Can't blame her for being aggressive, trying to fight her way back into the championship, but that stretch there at 3 and 4 kind of ending her hopes of a miraculous comeback after that opening round. One or multiple that group are in contention.
Nelly Korda taking a look here at the 6th. You think back to what she did yesterday after the struggles of 77 in the opening round as the defending champ, #1 in the world, and then actually total was 7 over for the championship at one point in that round yesterday, and fought back to make the weekend at 1 over.
Yeah, I saw her team afterwards last night, and just almost an exhale, you know, holding their breath the whole back 9, that she was fighting her way back, and you know, nothing quite like having your back up against the wall, which I'd imagine she has also still felt like it has been out there today a little bit. And after those couple of doubles, maybe trying to force something there.
Back at 6, Korda for par. Not distracted at all. So trying to bounce back from that stretch.
5 under as we go to the tee at the 7th. 3 holes to play in this 3rd round for Nelly Korda. And that is nicely done. What she would give to go back and play the
Left side of the green.
The birdie putt from Nelly Korda going in at 7. A par 5 to come at 8, and then that difficult 9th to close it out. At this point yesterday, playing this hole, she didn't even know if she was going to be here for the weekend. Had to finish up late and did manage to.
Closing out her second 9. This at 8, the par 5 for Nelly Korda, who shot 77 in the opening round. The defending champ, world #1, but made a huge charge to make it to the weekend yesterday.
Great putt.
Has had her struggles today, continued to fight back in her front 9 today. A couple of doubles on 3 and 4 today. Really, we're a nail in the coffin. You never know.
Never know. And yesterday she was 7 over at one point in the round for the championship.
And Nelly Korda likes to chip the ball, even if she's just off the green. Giving it a run, so that will be for a round of 1 under today. It's been a bit of a roller coaster for Nelly Korda, but nice to see her.
As Nelly Korda looks to ignite a quick little spurt here to the house with a long-range birdie.
Now they're picking out a good point. She wants to roll it over. Going to move right to left on her, and again, I think it's going to be faster than she thinks.
See if she's given it due credit.
Heard the words of encouragement that it was well struck, and Nelly's not even going to bother to mark that as it just went by on that high side. A temporary stop of the bleeding after the double-double. So you put a Band-Aid on the wound. That was last player to fire here at 6 is Nelly Korda. You see a mixed bag for her this week at this par 4.
Nothing wrong with that one.
Down the middle. Buried this yesterday from the fair. A lot of sharp edges as we're up to the 6th to Nelly Korda.
Nelly has 144. This is an 8-iron. Wind hurting off the right.
There you go. It's going to tumble down to just on the right fringe. It's going to be fine there. She said, no, but I got a free bag on my flight. She was unsure if that was a mistake.
Like a free check bag?
Yeah. She didn't know whether they knew that she was a winner and gave it to her, or whether they were making a mistake. And she said, I'm not going to bring it up. I just took the free bag and run.
Was it the bag with the trophy in it?
Good question. I don't think so. I think
that's
pretty
got to
much
go carry on.
You got to go carry on. Exactly. That's an overhead bin job. So we see Nelly Korda for birdie here.
She needs to be careful with the speed. She's into the green, but this will get away from her after the hole.
Easy. You can see the color change between when Nelly's ball's finished and that whole location today, which means it is right on the crest of a slope.
There was a party out here about an hour and a half ago, and authorities showed up and told us all to go home. Just kind of lost the energy.
You think, oh, I can get at this one, but it is on a little, almost like a spine back here, where if you miss it, if you're standing in the fairway and you miss it right, it feeds to the right. If you miss it left, it feeds to the left. It makes it difficult to chip to, it makes it difficult to putt to, and we've seen it here.
It's a trap, Angela.
Very much so.
Only place you like is kind of short left back up the hill, and it goes at least for a par for Nelly Korda.
3 has to repo.
So Nelly stays 2 over, 1 over in this round, but 4 over on this in.
Couple of options still ahead. Made a sea of them last week in LA for a breakthrough victory. Go to 7 now on the tee with Nelly Korda. Still a couple of players up on the green, but I think it's all clearing up. And the flag stick has gone back in.
And this hole is 176 today. Feels like it's directly downwind, but it's still kind of coming over their shoulder, right to left. That's a 7-iron for Nelly. I think the left side of this flag is going to get some play today.
Angela, what kind of target are you thinking? Kind of right edge of that back bunker or further right?
I think go a little further right, just because the wind is going to move it.
Staring at it.
Just do that.
Yeah, the shot we've become accustomed to over the last day or two until some uncharacteristic misses. It was the other par 3 on this 9 that was the start of.
This is going to move right to left on her. Really like to see her steal one here. I can't imagine there are going to be many birdies here today. And then go to the next hole and try to do something special.
I think this would be the 6th. And is.
Now a little revenge on par 3s here in this front 9 for Nelly, who was 3 over today on the par 3s before that birdie goes in, and now has the easiest hole.
Finds the green, but has terrain to cover.
Full send now for Nelly. Back-to-back days with birdie here at the reachable par 5.
Bounding.
Yeah, flirts with those bunkers left, but then gets that speed slot off of them, and that's probably going to be maybe inside of 200.
Which eagle is very much so in play on today. Pin back right.
Eagle certainly in play now. Nelly Korda. Could she get them all back? Birdie, it's. And now Nelly live for her eagle. Oh, hang in there. Well, back to level par for the week and 1 under in this round. Again, under par today is a good score. Could have been a lot greater if it weren't for those 2 doubles at 3 and 4. 9 back of the U lead and heading to her final hole of the day. Back days with eagle here at 8. They're lined up on the left ropes for Nelly Korda at 9. Put her up in the bunker yesterday here at 9 and then scrambled her way to a par that we thought at the time, with the sun already setting a couple of times on this 3rd round. Just the very front edge of a narrow old divot for Nelly, with a lot of traffic this week in the fairways here at the club at Carlton Woods.
Last time she was in one of those, what was that, at the 15th, still managed to get it to sit down quickly. She'll need the same. Pins on the front left at 9. They're obviously waiting. Again, it's been pretty backed up today. The double to this flag, even with the help.
And now Nelly.
9-iron for Nelly, looking right at it.
Out of it a bit. There has been 1 birdie here today, and it's the player leading the golf tournament.
Well, she's earned it then, hasn't she? My goodness. Hey, Ron, you.
While that was taking place, up ahead, Nelly's 3rd shot, looking to chip in for a closing birdie. Still a mover. I mean, you're moving spots from where you began the day with a round of 71, but Nelly was hoping for something, maybe even the mid-60s, the way this day started. 3 and 4 cost her. That front 9 stretch out there in the open has been a bit of a problem this week for Nelly Korda. But still, after the fight yesterday to make the cut, more positive than negative out of this round today, you would say, for Nelly?
I think, yeah, generally, I think she would have enjoyed seeing some birdies drop. Granted, got severely punished for one bad swing on 3, and then I think the errors compounded from that. I said that earlier today. Had she found the green there, sliding doors, you know, she might have ended up playing those 2 holes, which were 4 over, level par, moving on, and we're looking at a very different score at the end of the round. But that's just golf, isn't it? And it's this golf course. Some very severe punishments to be had if you're just a touch off, even if you're world #1.